Hey, welcome to another episode of How to Make Dinner. I'm Paula, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really juicy, crispy, delicious chicken one-pan wonder with some honey mustard vinaigrette. And you're going to want to make it all fall and winter long. It's so good. Today we're making a one-pan wonder, a little sheet pan dinner or tray bake. We're going to do some chicken thighs in the oven with fennel and some onion and peppers. So we're just going to do a little chicken and fennel tray bake, and I'm going to put some honey mustard vinaigrette over the whole thing, and it's going to be very, very nice. So I'm starting with a bowl. I'm just actually going to dump all of my ingredients into a bowl so I can get them really well tossed with some delicious flavoring things. I know a lot of us think of tray bakes as being very convenient because you only need one tray, and you do only need one tray, but I personally like to pre-toss things in a bowl first because I feel like they just get really coated with all the things I want them to be coated in. So I'm going to chuck everything in a bowl. So I have 4 chicken thighs. I also have this gigantic bulb of fennel, which I just couldn't resist buying. I'm going to hack off the top, put this aside. I'll probably run this through a juicer or just use the green bits just to, for a little herbal flourish on some things. So I might only use half of this because it's so gigantic. We'll see. So fennel, I just hack it up, and I tend to keep the core in because if I'm roasting it, there's no reason why the core can't stick around. And I just want to cut them into like manageable kind of shard style pieces. And they're going to shrink down a lot in the oven, so I'm not too worried about them being, I actually kind of like them quite chunky. Like that's cool. That'll be good in the oven. So just hack it up, chuck it in with the chicken. So if you're in the States, you'll call this a sheet pan dinner. We don't really use the term sheet pan in Canada for some reason. We call this a baking sheet, not a sheet pan. In the UK, it would be called a tray bake. Is that true? Tray bakes are sometimes like oat bar type things too, but whatever. It's a dinner that happens on one baking sheet, and it's pretty handy. And the main reason I wanted to make this actually was to show this honey mustard vinaigrette over it, because I love honey mustard. Honey mustard anything, like honey mustard chicken strips. Oh, dipping my fries in honey mustard, so good. So in this case, it's like chicken strips, honey mustard dip, roasted chicken thighs, honey mustard vinaigrette. It's just kind of, like a at-home version of that. Anyway, I'm not making any sense. Totally aware. So the peppers, I actually just have one orange pepper because I like the color, and I like that it's one more veg that you can get into the tray bake. And then I'm going to use half a red onion because the whole point here is I don't really want to have to make anything else. I've also done this with potatoes, which actually I might throw some potatoes on the tray as well, because there's just roasted potatoes are one of the best things in the world, I think. So again, just kind of hacking this up. So the idea is that nothing's going to cook super quick or super slow. Like everything in here is going to cook around the same time. I bought this bag of potatoes last week, and they're like so super creamy. I'm really happy with them. All right, let's go with these guys. I want to cut them a little bit smaller than the peppers and stuff because they do cook. They take longer to cook. So I'm gonna go into like almost like a wedge fry shape, about like that. And then I feel pretty confident that they'll be done. So I want to toss these with a really flavorful oil so that they can be deliciously seasoned. And I love the look of paprika. Like when I feel like it just gives everything such a nice rosy glow, especially things like chicken. It's all gonna come out brown, but if you do a little paprika, that really helps. So like a heaped teaspoon of that, and I'm just gonna add a pinch of dried rosemary that I'm gonna crush quite aggressively in my hands because it's really sharp, and rosemary is just like a sharp, pointy, hard herb, and I want it to be a bit more broken up. So pinch of rosemary, paprika. I'm gonna do a pretty generous teaspoon of salt, even a little more, and a few good cracks of pepper. And you know what's really cool here actually is if you wanted to put some whole garlic cloves just on the, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, on the sheet itself, just you don't need to peel them or anything, then you kind of get a few like roasted garlic cloves in and amongst your veggies, which is always a nice treat. So I'll chuck those in. Like 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, whatever. You just have to remember to squeeze them out of their skins after. Okay, so a bit of oil. I'm using extra virgin. And then this with the paprika, it just makes it a nice, like, kind of rusty colored oil that just makes everything look so good. This is quite a bit. I might not use it all. So drizzle a few spoonfuls over that, or all of it. That was like probably 3 tablespoons of oil. And then I'm just gonna give it a quick toss. Get all that rosy, rusty, salty oil all over everything. So this is why I like using a bowl, because yeah, it's one more dish to wash, but it's so worth it, I think. Like everything gets so nice and coated, just coated way better than if you just stuck it on the pan and drizzled it over. And now it's just a matter of kind of dumping it out and making sure that everything has good contact with the pan and nothing's overlapping too much. So you kind of want to disperse things around a little bit. That looks good. Pretty good already, hey? So, one pan wonder, paprika, fennel, salt, some garlic. So that's ready to go in the oven, and I have the oven cranked to about 425, and it's probably gonna take about 40 minutes, at least half an hour, 40 minutes. The beauty about using skin on bone-in chicken thighs like I'm using here is that they won't dry out. Like I actually prefer a long cook on chicken thighs because it means the skin kind of gives off all of its fat and the meat just kind of falls away from the bone, and it's really, really good. So I'm gonna say 30 to 40 minutes, probably more like 40, and we'll see you when we get there. Okay. Oh my God, look how good that looks. Oh my God, that looks so good, doesn't it? Look at that chicken. So the skin on this chicken is super crispy, and if I poke a few things, oh, the potatoes are super soft. The fennel is soft, the peppers are looking good. Everything is great, and we're happy campers. So, all right, so on this chicken, I want to put a little bit of a honey mustard vinaigrette because I just think it goes so well with chicken. It's really super easy to make. I use Grainy Dijon mustard for this, and I use a big honkin' spoonful, maybe 2. And then about equal parts honey into the bowl. This is a very flavorful vinaigrette. It's more honey and mustard than it is anything else. Yum, look at that. Look at that, so shiny and glossy. And then some cider vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar for this or wine vinegar of any kind, sherry vinegar. I just really like apple cider vinegar with mustard specifically. Don't know why. I just do. So I added about, I'll put actual measurements in the description box, but I think it was about half of the amount of the honey and mustard that I used. So honey and mustard are definitely the prominent ingredients in this. And then about the same amount of oil as vinegar. Big sploosh. And then about half a teaspoon of salt as a kind of first pass. I'm gonna taste it. Mmm. Oh, that's good. A little bit more salt. Oops. So this tray bake has 4 chicken thighs on it, so it's pretty good amount for, I'd say, 2 people to have a nice dinner. I need a couple more kitchen utensils. I'm using like a barbecue flipper for this job. So just for now, I'm gonna put 1 thigh on a plate and some veg. See how that paprika made everything really golden and yummy? 2 chicken thighs, to hell with it. This is my lunch. And then just drizzle the whole thing with some of this honey mustard. This is great, you guys. That's it. That's a really easy weeknight dinner. Crispy, juicy chicken thighs with fennel and potatoes and honey mustard vinaigrette. 1-pan wonder. Get home from work, fire it in the oven, walk away, get into your relaxing mode, and then it's just done, and it's so nice. You can make a salad with this if you want, or you can just eat it like it is. Maybe I'll give it a taste. Taste some of the potato. Mmm. Honey mustard is my favorite. You should see me when I go to a restaurant. I order so much honey mustard for dipping my fries into. Okay, look at how juicy this is. Can you see that? It's dripping. So this is super juicy and crispy chicken thighs. This was in the oven for about 40 minutes and they're still so juicy. This is why I love chicken thighs so much. Mmm. The ultimate. So good. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up because that would really help me out a lot. And, you know, tell a friend, leave a comment if you are gonna make this. Leave a comment if you like this, leave a comment if you don't. And what else? Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Mmm. Delish. Oh, it's so good.